And Premier Video was a really good video store. It was across the street from the Angelica Film Center. So people would kind of go to one and then go to the other oftentimes. Premier Video had a very, very, very deep collection. They would have, you know, the hits, and like any other business, you have the hits that pays for the other things, right? So, you know, the Jane Fonda video, right? Which was like a major big deal. But they had foreign films, they had art films, they had documentaries, they had an awful lot. And they're very knowledgeable. Probably more than any other store, people would go in there and hang out and spend a lot of time. And the guy who ran it, there's a couple, but the guy was, every time you went in there, you would have like a half an hour conversation about something. So it wasn't just picking a film, it was kind of a cultural event. And they had a very, very, very good collection. And there was talk about where that collection would go. And I heard a lot of rumors, but I have no idea what happened to all those tapes. They also were very early in on DVDs. And there was a time when he would also rent out a DVD player if you needed them, because in the early days, a lot of people didn't have them. And one time we had to show a foreign DVD at our festival, and he lent me his deck to show it. I mean, he was just a real community guy, and it was really kind of important. You know, and it's kind of reflective of that sense of the independent video store as a cultural hub, as opposed to Blockbuster, which were, you know, just insane. And you know that the first Blockbuster was in Dallas.
I've heard that. Yeah. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Well, I remember when it went up, I would call them to get their lists. It was on Skillman Road and Northwest Highway. It's now, I think, in Applebee's. They had a lot of space, so they could have a deeper, but they were not the kind of films that you would see at Premiere Video, but they would have a lot of films, a lot of variety. They had, and you know, back in those days, they had a bunch of documentaries, but they're not the documentaries that I'm fond of. They were like World War II documentaries. Nowadays, the popular things are crime and celebrity, and then it was like World War II films. Plus, that made everybody feel good with World War II films. You would have people who love film, cinephiles, go to Premiere. And now Premiere also had more populous things, but it was really more for people who would say go to the Angelica Film Center, or somebody here would go to the Austin Film Theater, as opposed to Blockbuster, which made most of its money by like 20 titles every month. Like, they were the popular things. But what was, you know, the selling point was they had a wide variety, because it was a big store, they had so much. But there's a big cultural difference, not just in the films that were there, but the vibe of the place. People who worked at Blockbuster were just, it was a job, right? They came in, they could have been working in a yogurt store or anything, it didn't matter, right? Independent stores, like, you know, the staff would kind of hang out and talk about films, and people would come in and talk to the staff, and it was a cultural vibe. These were cultural connectors, right? And so it's a very different thing. So you have, you know, all over the country, there's Kim's Video, and then there's, you know, what was the name of the place in Los Angeles? So there are
Scarecrow in Seattle, right?
yeah, and so there are all these meccas of home video,